Guys, I got this this Colibri Dual flame end to work on, and it's in excellent shape. This is, I think there's a couple different types of these, but I pulled the valve out, okay, and I want to go over how these valves are, just so you'll know. Okay, you see this little part right here? This little part is pressure fitted. This here seals down flush with this. Okay, so when I get ready to put this back together, I'm going to have to hammer it. Okay, or not hammer it, but tap it down in gently. Now, the best way I found out to remove this is, you guys got to be real. I want to show you something here. Let me get the spring off of here. Okay. This little piece right here. You got to be careful when you're gripping this, guys. Okay. You got to be careful, because if you squeeze it too much, then this here internal valve assembly will not slide in there, okay? So you have to be careful. Now, I couldn't get that out by pulling it out, but what I did is, when it was together, I had put a little heat on that, and I grabbed it with some plastic jaw pliers on this end and some something that's going to grab it on this end. I believe I used these right here, but you got to be real gentle with it. I used something like this because they got these fine little teeth in there, and they do grab on things pretty good, but you can't squeeze very tight. Now, let this focus. I replaced the stopper on it, and I don't know if you can see or not, but inside here, well, let's see here. Inside here, there's a little bitty porthole, okay, that this stopper, when this mechanism is pushed down, like so, the stopper plugs that hole. Now, just past that orifice, or plugs that orifice up, okay? It's kind of like it's kind of shaped like this with a little hole in the middle here. That way, the O-ring kind of seats against it. Okay? Well, anyway, beneath that, there's a what you call a pressure regulator, or sponge. And what compresses the sponge is a little brass piece that's down in there. And what you have, show you what you got here. On this end, you have this part that screws into here, okay? And what that does, there's actually the end right there, screws in. What that actually does is adjust the maximum flame for your lighter. Then, this is the flame adjustment screw on the bottom. So, basically what that does is, if you adjust for the maximum flame, okay, this will come in here like so, and it'll go through, and it'll poke the little brass plunger on the insides, just right above the sponge. Now, there was no flame adjustment on this. It didn't work very well at all. But here's the problem. I cannot get that brass. I cannot get that little brass rod out of there. I've had some 1/2 millimeter drill bits in here. You know, holding with this and pushing down, and it will not budge one little bit. I put some heat around here. It will not budge one little bit. So there's no repairing this for me. I'll try soaking in some acetone. That's my last option. Maybe it'll lose something on the inside. Just whatever it is, it might be holding that. But that's like it's just frozen there, and I just can't get it going. I can't get it fixed, and unless I could take that brass rod out of there and get to that sponge and dig that sponge out of there and clean it up and put another sponge in there, this isn't going to operate properly. So this is going to be the first video, or possibly could be another one, on the internal you know, gas valve system of the Colibri Dual flame. Now, I've worked on these before, but I've never had this type of a gas system in it, okay? This is now, this here type that you see here, see how this is? I don't know, guys. If it was me, I wouldn't buy one of these, because, and this is in excellent shape. I wouldn't buy one of these. This is an eye-opener for me. But boy, if you got to get in there, this was a problem getting out itself. Okay, I mean, it was problem enough, and I was worried about ruining this valve system by gripping onto this part right up here. You see the walls on that? They're not very thick. You know, and if you ding that up, you know, squeeze it, this needs a ride like this inside this here. If it doesn't, if it gets stuck, you know, you can, if you can't get it straightened out, you're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin the valve, and it's a no-go. I'm not a big fan of the valve mechanism on this. There's a little bitty spring that's on there. Basically what happens is how these work. You see how this valve goes down in like that? Okay, well, when you close the lid on this lighter here, this here lid spring assembly right here pushes down on a little forked mechanism that actually pushes down on this like that. That's how it shuts the gas off. Alright, when you open the lid, it just lets it go, and that spring pushes it back up, and of course you get gas released. And as far as I'm trying to see if I can zoom out a little bit. No, I'm here pretty close. But as far as this here valve assembly, there's a little, this here mechanism that you see right here. This is a different assembly here, and this little valve here with a hole in the side for a pipe and everything. Well, it comes down here, and it's got a little area down here at the bottom where this just recesses up into it, so it still freely moves. It still freely moves. This one doesn't move inside of this. It only moves up or down when you close the lid, but it's still shooting gas up in here, And when you got in this position, the gas just comes out around the small post here and comes up at regular flame. And when you open it up, then it comes out here. Okay, that's how that mechanism works. These are nice lighters when they work, but I'll be honest with you, I would just get a standard pipe lighter, to be honest with you. There's too much involved in on this, and the worst part about this is if I can't get this fixed, if I'm unable to get that unplugged out there, which I don't have any hope in it right now. I've been letting this thing soak in alcohol for days and putting heat to it, and I've had no luck whatsoever. I thought once I got this out right here, I thought, oh, I got that out, you know, and I didn't burger it up. I thought, yeah, I'm going to get her, you know, I'm going to stick a little bitty, I got these bits that are 1/2 millimeter, drill bits that are 1/2 millimeter in diameter, and I stuck that down in there, and I got some other small wire I've stuck down in there, and there's just no freaking way that I was going to get that out of there. So I'm stuck. So I don't know, you know, what to do. If I'll soak it in some acetone, and maybe the acetone will seep inside the little hole there, and maybe it'll, you know, that's pretty strong stuff. No, I'll stick in some MEK. That's what I want to use, MEK. It'll melt plastic, so best thing I can do is try to stick it in there and see what happens. If not, I got to put it back together and send it back to the gentleman and tell him it's, you know, it's non-repairable. Unless you buy another lighter, but you don't know what the valve system is going to be on it either. So, kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on this. You know, he's had several lighters that, you know, he wanted me to repair, and, you know, I repaired them. This one here didn't have a very high flame adjustment on it. I'm using my handheld camera right now, so this is a lot better. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. And then, I don't know if you guys ever seen one of these. This is the first I've seen them on eBay, but one of these here Bronica lighters. What it amounts to is got a couple batteries in the bottom, and when you press down on it here, a little coil wire glows, and once you press on this and pull it down, you get a flame. You can pull it out. So I got that one going, and this one here just need a little bit of adjustment inside on the piezo wire, but it works perfectly. And there's another pipe lighter that he had me work on here. Works good. Flame adjustment, it was one height, I guess, and I need to get in there and set it and regulate it, and I also had to put a new screw in here on the flint wheel, because the screw, apparently somebody tried to work on this before and they broke the long screw that goes down inside into the tank, and I had a screw, but it was longer, so I had to cut it off and re-tap it to get it down in there, and that was a job. Anyway, guys, listen. If you don't know what you're doing on lighters, you know, I don't mind working on people's lighters, but man, if you ruin it, please don't ask me to fix it for you. I mean, I don't mind trying to help somebody out, but man, if you get in there and, you know, you burger something up on it and send it to me, and there isn't anything I can do for you, because, you know, these vintage lighters, guys, there's no parts unless you buy a used lighter, and hey, you know, it's just kind of the way it is on these things. These are good lighters, but some of them are easier to rebuild than others, and some of them, in my opinion, are worth staying away from, and some of them are just great for keeping around because they're durable and they're simple, and they're easy to rebuild. You know, I haven't seen them all, and I haven't seen nowhere near seeing them all. There's too many vintage lighters out there. These little Colibri lighters like this, these are good lighters. You know, I don't think maybe this has got some gas in it. Yeah, these are good lighters right here, built really well. All right, so if you just want something simple, those are good lighters. I think I'm down to one. I got an Esser, I got one C151 left. I sold a bunch of lighters. I must have sold about 25 lighters here so far, and I'm down to, I sold all of my Zima tall lighters except for two I kept for myself, one gold, one silver. Man, guys, this is a nice pipe lighter. I hope I can get it fixed for the guy. I really do. This is a real nice looking lighter. But I might get to the point, if I can't fix this lighter here, and I have to send it back to the gentleman, you know, tell him it's unrepairable. I'm not going to fix any more of these lighters for anybody because there's just too much involved, and I've got several hours in on this just trying to unstop that bottom valve assembly right here. And you know, I try to save these lighters like this because this is actually a very good quality lighter. It's just that some manufacturers, well, you know, some designs they're just not really just great when it comes to fixing. They're just not easy to repair, and I think sometimes I'm wondering if when these came out, if people repaired these, if they just didn't take the whole valve system out and just throw it away and put a new one in. Because I don't think guys would really, these guys have to repair these lighters like on warranty. I wouldn't see where they would, you know, they're just better off throwing it away. I mean, otherwise they get a lot of labor involved in trying to fix it, and unfortunately that's what I got on this here particular valve at the moment. Hopefully something works out, but doesn't look good at the moment. But if something changes, I'll pop another video up, and that way somebody they'll have an idea how to work on it themselves. But I could say after this one right here, you know, they was always tough to work on, these Colibri Duals. I'm saying after this, if I get this one working, it'll be the last one I work on for anybody, and I definitely won't be buying any for myself. I'm not saying it's not a good quality lighter. I'm just saying it's got a difficult valve system in it to work on, because I think they designed that system, that valve system, just to throw away. If anything happened, they just easier to throw away and replace it. Alright guys, that's it.